What's going on, guys? Tonight I'm going to be replacing the carrier bearing on the MK3 Supra, and nothing real crazy. We're just going to get right into it. Got the car jacked up, and I'll show you what we're working with. All right, we'll crawl up under this car here. Here's what we're working with. Okay, so let's get our orientation right. There's the diff. We're going to go up this way. There's our carrier bearing right there. And that's the source of our vibration. It's really annoying, and obviously that's got to be causing some type of domino effect damage. But we're gonna go up the way, and there's our W58 and the end of our drive shaft. Essentially, I'm gonna try to take this off without having to unbolt my exhaust. But I know how I want to do this is essentially start by unbolting the 4 bolts at the diff. Then we're gonna move up to unbolting the carrier bearing, at which point this half of the drive shaft should just drop. I'm gonna try to rest it on the exhaust, pull it down that way, and pull it out through here. But before I get started, I'm gonna mark all of these weights so I can install it exactly how I came off. And I'm just gonna use this yellow paint pen. All right, so I got these kind of marked up. My paint pen is not working very well upside down. So after I drop this, I'm gonna go over these marks again so I can reline everything up correctly. Alright, so I was able to get these loose with the 2-wrench method. Ideally, you just need like a really good impact. My Harbor Freight impact did not have the juice to get this. How are we gonna get this off, you son of a bitch? Time out. But just had to get creative. So these 2 came off. I'm gonna start soaking the other 2 with PB Blaster, so when I spin this around, hopefully it won't fight me as much. So we're about to take off these 14s for the carrier bearing. There's 2 bolts, and I got myself all lined up so I can put this back together the same way I pull it out. And I got a drip tray in case I lose some of this transmission fluid, which hopefully not though. Got it out. Now I just got to take off these 4 bolts. I'm hoping, you know, with the drive shaft out of the car, it would be easier to pull apart. So we got our 4 bolts off of middle of the drive shaft, and now we need to pry this apart. So I'm just gonna stick this in here, just like that. We're gonna move that out of the way, but now we have to get this off. And then under here should be a 24mm nut. We're gonna go ahead and pop the little indentation off. Hopefully I'll be able to zap it off with the 24, I believe. And there is a washer back there, so make sure that washer makes its way back in. Okay, I was able to zap off the 24 nut. I think this might be on here. Let me see if I get lucky. Oh my gosh, sick. All right, so the nose is off, and I could see that it is splined, and there's a washer in here, so I need to keep track of all these washers. Let's pull this bearing out and see what comes out. Okay, so there's a shim that goes back towards the diff. You need to remember that goes back here. All right guys, carrier bearing is out. Here's what mine looked like. It is completely shot. I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna clean up the splines a little bit, lube it up, and get our new one on. So pay attention to how this is oriented. You'll notice that this one has kind of like these dog ears on one side and not on the other. For reassembly, it's the 24mm nut, followed by a washer. Then the nose goes on, and then the shim goes on this side of the carrier bearing. For quick reference, this is your part number for the carrier bearing. Now there's a couple different versions of this, so make sure you buy the right one. Mine in particular is an 86.5, and I believe it's the old style carrier bearing. And I was able to get this OEM from Toyota. I want to say Amamaya. Shipped over from Japan, took like almost 2 weeks to get here, but that was before all those tariffs hit, so your results may vary. Alright, I was able to just literally gently tap this in, and it only took a little bit and it just slid right on. And now I just want to make sure I get this nose piece lined up perfectly with my little notch marks. Beautiful. Everything nice and in line. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get this washer back in on this side, and then the 24 goes back on. New bearings all in, triple, quadruple check, make sure all your alignment marks are lining up right. I think I forgot to film, when you pull these out, this is gonna be going facing up towards the end of the car. There is a 14mm bolt on either side, and there's this little like spacer shim that goes in between that car and this bracket, so make sure you don't forget to put that back in. So all of our lineup marks are lined up, so we're sure that we got everything bolted back up the way we found it. I went ahead and tightened these 4 bolts to the diff before tightening down the carrier bearing bolt. There's some slots in the carrier bearing that allow some back and forth play, so that way I'm sure the drive shaft is connected to the diff securely. I can torque this down and actually be able to test drive this.
Okay, cool. So it doesn't sound like there's any crazy vibration. I don't feel any vibration going 45 now. Nice. Car feels good. Definitely want to get this back to like almost original or OEM plus condition. Alright, so fixing that carrier bearing, the Supra feels safe to drive now, and I'm juiced to be attending Kyushu Fest, hosted by Toyo's Party, Sunday, July 13th, 760 Hearst Avenue, Berkeley, California. I'll see you guys there. Keep driving those slow cars fast. Pass on the left.